Welcome, everyone. I made it. It's a little late, but I made it. It's okay. I'm here. Don't worry about it. So, the webinar went a little bit longer than I expected. So, I do apologize for that. If you're watching live, I am 45 minutes late, but we'll catch up on everything going forward. So, let's see. Do we have anyone watching live right now? Let's see. I think we have. I got one. Okay. Cool. All right. So, setup's a little different. Working through this. I'm going to give it a minute or two. Just so anybody else who wants to watch live can watch live. Wonderful webinar. AI is going to transform everything. Don't worry about it. Everything is going to be fine. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much it transforms. It depends on who really just checking the comments on that. It depends on who actually programs this AI and what it'll do and how it will do what it's supposed to do, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're starting to get some notifications. Looks like we're good. Okay. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Angriest Man in Orlando show. I am the angriest man in Orlando, better known as Anthony to most people. Welcome. It's Tuesday. It's time to vent your anger, feel a little bit better, and we go from there. So it was a busy weekend, but before I get into that, do you realize it was actually a busy month? We're just about at the end of July, and let me go through some of the stuff that happened. So the first weekend was July 4th. So you either had a lot of money, fired some fireworks off, had fun, or you had no money, sat at home and watched TV all day. There you go. Next weekend, the second weekend of July, it was the President Trump assassination attempt. So, yeah, that was a busy weekend running through stuff and all kinds of things. Third weekend was President Biden dropping out, finding out who was actually going to be a candidate. So, that was a bit of craziness. And then this previous weekend, we had Kamala Harris actually being the candidate and the Paris Olympics. So, I don't know about you, but every weekend in July has been stacked with angry topics and all kinds of stuff. So I am hoping the months keep going like this. It gives me plenty of material, plenty of stuff to talk about. It's great. It's wonderful. And keeps the show going. So welcome to everyone watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm not going to do a really long show tonight because we are on later. So do stay in. Feel free to comment anything that you're angry about. We can talk about now, talk about it later, whatever. And we will go from there. All right. So, as I said, this weekend was crazy. A lot of stuff was going on. So, I started off Friday with the Paris Olympics. Okay. Let's go into that. So for anyone who saw it live or saw it within the first 48 hours of it happening, you got a good glimpse of what it was. It's the opening ceremony. It's a traditional thing to kick off the Olympics. Most people didn't even know the Olympics were going on. They didn't know where it was. They didn't know what was happening. So it was a bit of a surprise to a lot of people. And then your opening ceremonies are traditionally a showcase of your culture, your country, how you view the Olympics, how you view society, how you see things. And it's a representation of this is who we are, the hosts of the Olympics. So Paris, France is the host of the Olympics this year. And I didn't actually watch it, so I don't know if anybody else watched it, but you probably heard about it. So there were, I can't even start in order because I don't even know what was in order. But you had Marie Antoinette with her head cut off, and she's holding her head and it's singing. It's really weird. There's some fire coming up. I don't know what it was. There's a rock band going off. There's a horse with somebody on it or something. It was supposed to represent some god or something or other. Not even sure. They said it was supposed to be a duck boat, and it wasn't a duck boat. It was a horse. That's all I got out of that. And then the feast result, or something like that, was the Last Supper, which is a very famous painting, which represented the Last Supper of Jesus Christ and his apostles, done with drag queens, children, and I don't know what else was thrown in there because I didn't even really look for it or anything. Then a blue Smurf-like character appeared, and I don't know. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on here. People were freaked out, understandably. Looked like mockery of the Last Supper, mockery of Jesus, mockery of the apostles, mockery of Christianity as a whole. And not quite sure who this was supposed to be for. Not sure who the audience was who was supposed to be watching this. So, as I normally did, went to Twitter. Found out quite a lot of people were disturbed by this. Quite a few people just simply said, hey, if you don't want to watch it, just turn it off. Okay, fair point. Fair point. But I dove deeper to find out who was the audience for these opening ceremonies. And I found a few things. I found who I think was the audience for this type of event. And, well, let me go here. And I was surprised what I found. What I found out was that, well, the audience wasn't too thrilled. So, who were the audiences this was for? All right, let me show you who I think. So, it's a trans. There's some gay men up there. Maybe this is for the LGBTQIA plus community. Okay, well, I've got a post from a gay woman. Let me share here. Okay, it's up there. It's from Jillian Michaels, and Jillian Michaels was, don't worry, that's my producer right above me. Jillian Michaels is a gay woman, but you might know her better as, do you remember the Jillian Michaels fitness videos? You're going to have to be old enough to have had a VCR at the time to play those videos, but yes, she was a fitness instructor. So she states, let me get the full thing here. Now, a lot of these videos and pictures were pulled down by the Olympic Committee. They did not dare pull down her photo, though. I wonder why. It states, "Dear fellow gays, we demand tolerance and respect, but then make a mockery of something sacred for over 2 billion Christians. This type of hypocrisy and lack of understanding is a bad look. We get outraged when the extreme right bashes us, but then we do this shit. What kind of reaction do you think they will have towards the LGBTQ plus community after this? This is not how we break down barriers. It's how you build them." And I would say, yes, 100%. Yes. You don't mock other people who you accuse of mocking you and expect things to get better. What the hell's wrong with you idiots? So, this is as I have stated before, the extremists are taking over a movement, LGBTQ. It was BLM years ago. They come in, they take it over, and they run with it in the most extreme ways. And I'm not even sure why they do this anymore. I'm not sure. It's like it doesn't get anybody's point out, and it just pisses off a lot of people. And I'm assuming this is just the chaos factor. Maybe they're like the Joker. They just want to see the world burn. I don't know, but they're really trying hard with this one because it pissed off the gay community, or at least some of the gay community. So maybe this wasn't for the gay community. Maybe this wasn't for their audience. I don't know. Seems like we've got some angry people on that side. So maybe this was for the French community. It is Paris, France. This is their expression of culture. Maybe this is who they wanted it to be. I don't know. Just guessing. Just, I don't know. I wonder. Could it be? Well, we've got a video of the French watching it. So, maybe it's for them. Let's play.
C'est Philippe Catherine. Ah, mais c'est Philippe Catherine. Comment tu veux qu'un étranger ne dise pas qu'en France, on est complètement barbare? Je sais, les gars, les bâtards. On se trouve dans un plateau de avec une meule de record devant là. Sérieux, c'est pas honteux? C'est les JO, quoi. Non, mais ça, demain sur les réseaux, super.
I mean, just look at that bad's expression. No. Okay. All right, we'll cut that for a minute. All right, we'll go back. So, hope it came out decent. But basically the French were mocking them too. So, who exactly was this for? Wasn't for regular people watching the Olympics. It wasn't for gay people watching the Olympics. It wasn't for the French people watching the Olympics. So who was this for? Anybody tell me this? Because holy cow, was it a shit show, as Miss Michaels said. So that was Friday night. That was Friday night right there, okay? So where do we go from here? Well, just don't watch the Olympics. And I feel a little bad for the people who try their hardest. Maybe this is their first Olympics. Maybe they've never experienced this before. Man, have the last few been absolutely just Not the greatest stuff out there. 4 years ago, well, it was actually 3.5. It was in Tokyo or China, Japan or China. Didn't go so well. 4 years before that was Brazil, which was not that great either. So these Summer Olympics they've got to get a lot better. Unbelievable stuff. But I'll say this. Yes, it feels like Christianity was mocked. Boycott the Olympics. Don't give them a dime. I see a few advertisers have already pulled out of it. And that's how you do it. You just shut them out. Maybe they learn, maybe they get better, and maybe they don't, and maybe they just don't do it anymore. I don't know. One of the two happens, though. So, there you go. So, Saturday night, what happened? All right. So, there was some craziness. If you're a nerdy, geeky fan, that. Do I have that? No, I don't. Okay. All right. So, San Diego Comic-Con was going on this weekend. And just checking the chat on Rumble. If you're on Rumble watching, you go ahead. You can leave a chat. I'm watching. So San Diego Comic-Con was this weekend. And they made a big announcement for Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios has the movie Deadpool and Wolverine out. It is blowing box office records out of the water. It is huge. I'm going to say this, at the end of its run, it'll probably be 1.1 to 1.2 billion dollar movie. Does it change anything at Marvel? Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will. Because this Saturday night, we got a special announcement. We got a special guest coming back. Who was that? Well, if you don't know by now, turn this thing off. Go type in Marvel's newest super villain. You'll get your answer right there. All right, so you probably did it. You're coming back to the video. You're watching now. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he's going to play Dr. Doom, the villain to the Fantastic Four. And he's slated to be in Marvel Avengers Doomsday and Marvel Avengers Secret Wars. And when it first happened, I exploded. I hit it all. I hit all the social media, voiced my concern for this, that it was a terrible move to put him as a villain in this unbelievable universe, and the way it's been going, it was gonna be crap. But not only this, Marvel had Robert Downey Jr. here before. They had him as Iron Man, Tony Stark. First movie, 2008, is Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr., who was an actor who got thrown out. He had convictions, known as a drug user, had done some jail time, I believe. He wasn't exactly an A-lister. They took a chance on him. He plays Tony Stark. Movie does great, phenomenal, and slowly starts building him as the leader of the Avengers. Has this overwhelming arc. I mean, goes 11 years through, I forget how many movies, but comes from being a hero to being someone who struggled a lot with what he was trying to figure out about his family, who he was, what he could be. Finally, at the end, in Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, he becomes the ultimate hero with the ultimate sacrifice. Spoiler alert, you should have already seen the damn movie by now. He ends up snapping his fingers using the stones to eliminate Thanos and dies. The ultimate sacrifice. It's one of the most poignant moments in the last 20 years in cinema. I mean, I saw it live the first night it came out with everybody in the audience. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, okay? This was a moment that, like, just bam, one of those moments. So for him to come back, it was really like, dude, you're gonna destroy the moment of him giving up everything to play a villain. So that was my initial reaction. I've had a few friends who have come out similar reactions. This is not right. This is not how it should be. And then I got a hint from somebody. Okay? I got a hint from somebody. Somebody on YouTube goes by the name of WDW Pro. If you've seen his channel or his website, he's linked to thatparkplace.com. Go check out thatparkplace.com. He gave me a hint. He said, hey, man, don't worry. Things are not what they seem. Things are not what they seem. He doesn't want to spoil anything, doesn't want to reveal too much. I understand. I said, hey, just hypothetically speaking, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And he's come out and said he knows way more about what's going on and has known for the last few months, maybe even a year. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I've been hearing rumblings from other people that, hey, after the Marvels failed last year, the Marvel Studios reached out to Chris Evans, who played Captain America, and reached out to Robert Downey Jr., who played Iron Man. And they talked to both of them. And, okay, spoiler alert again, because I know a lot of people haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. One of those two individuals is in the movie. I'll leave it at that, because, okay, maybe some people didn't get a chance over the weekend, but one of the two is in the movie, so you know they want to come back and they want to play characters again, and it gives me a thought on, wasn't it said that they didn't want to come back because of money, because of obligations, and all this other stuff, yet now, years later, you hear, oh yeah, I wanted to come back. I want to come back. Yeah. Okay. So, speculation is we don't need to worry about RDJ and Dr. Doom. They're going to do it right. So, what does that mean? Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm being told to step back. They're going to do it right. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. So, wasn't as angry. I've taken a step back. I'm going to give it a little time and see if what's happening is what is happening. So we'll go from there with that. Did make me incredibly angry though Saturday night. I think I was up till like 2 a.m. going through all this with everybody. It was like, hey. So, all right. And now for the grand finale, the title of this great show tonight, Bring on the Childless Cat Ladies. Okay, so what happened over the weekend too? Well, some people did some digging and found out J.D. Vance, vice presidential candidate under presidential candidate Trump, who again I am going to say is not the best pick out there at all. But apparently, a conversation he had had or an interview he had had was complaining about women over 40 who they would just turn into childless cat ladies if they were already childless and all that. Really pushing for family, really pushing for women to get married. And holy cow, did that open the floodgates on all these childless cat ladies coming out in droves to say how their life was so freaking great. And the number one childless cat lady, Taylor Swift, decided she also was going to be angry. Don't even know what her statement was because I really don't give a damn about her. But all these childless cat women were coming out saying their life is so great and so wonderful. Well, is it really though? Is it really though? Because we're having some problems because of all these childless cat women. And well, it's not as good as you think it is. Okay? Now I'm going to go into it a little bit tonight, but Thursday night on 2 Men in a Room, I'm going to give you a breakdown of everything that I've been finding out. So we're going to take that off. And it's a really dark hole when you start, no pun intended with that. It's a dark hole when you go down and see what childless cat ladies are bringing about. Well, have you ever heard of something called Title IV? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about women who are becoming cat ladies, who are becoming dog ladies, who are just becoming annoying. But I'm going to say this. It drives me crazy that people don't look at both sides of this, okay? Why? Always ask why. Ask how, ask why, ask what's going on, okay? Okay, why are they childless? Well, they either decided to do it or got so pissed off at dating that they just don't want to do it anymore. Okay, fair enough. What does it lead to? Well, it leads to a lot less population in the world. And if we break it down to the United States, it brings in Social Security. If they don't have children to replace the workers when they retire, who pays the Social Security? I don't know. Who pays? Also, think about this. If your attitude is, I don't want to deal with a man, I can do everything on my own, I'm going to go get an animal and I'm going to be fine and it's going to be great. Okay, cool. So those are your morals, those are your ways of living. Great, wonderful, do it. Who do you pass that on to? Who do you pass that on to? You don't have any children to pass that on to. Maybe you have a nephew and niece. Maybe you tell your niece, no, screw the patriarchy. You don't need a man. You don't need a man to take you on. No. Okay, great. So she doesn't have any kids. So after cat lady dies, mom dies, daughter dies, where do those wonderful morals go to? Who takes on that mantle? You see where I'm going with this? This theory that you don't need a man and you're going to do it on your own and everything's going to be fine. It eventually dies off after a couple generations. And at that point, who's around that actually is going to believe this? I mean, you're going to see all these women that decided they wanted to do it on their own, now they're dead and there's less population on the world. Crazy. Now, again, let's hit both sides of this. Okay, why do they not want to date? Because dudes are fucking idiots nowadays. Okay? Trust me, I'm a dude. I know about dudes. Okay? I'm walking through Target yesterday. Beautiful women, tourists, come through. Dudes are following behind. I swear it was like Revenge of the Nerds part 7 or 8 or whatever the frick movie they're on now. These guys, it was unreal. If these are the best guys they could find, then holy crap, this is why society's going down. Dudes are not dudes anymore. They're soy boys. And yeah, I'm going to steal that term from whoever the hell's been using it on the internet. Okay, these guys have no idea what to do or how to do stuff. They couldn't deal with the kids. They didn't know what was going on. They just sort of followed behind the whole time, knocking into stuff, didn't know what the hell's going on. And I get that guys are not always the best shoppers, but geez Louise, man. At least protect your women while they're shopping. So I get it. I get it. There's a little bit of both sides in this. But childless cat ladies, don't give up. Don't give up. Because Joy Behar on The View is telling you should give up. No. Let those idiots give up and not reproduce, and that gets killed off. But you can keep going. You can keep going. There are some good dudes out there. There are some good dudes out there. So don't let this media tell you that you're better off alone, that you'll do it on your own. Let me tell you right now, it's not easy being single and doing it on your own for anybody. Okay? I don't know how many people can pay $1,500 to $2,000, maybe even $2,500 in some markets for an apartment or even rent a house. Can you do that on your own? If you can, hey, there you go. Best to you. If you can do that, and pay your car insurance, pay your phone, buy new clothes, go on vacations, do this, do that, do that. If you can do all that, then by gosh, man, I don't know what you're doing in life, but apparently you don't have enough time to date. So keep on doing what you're doing. But for the regular people out here, the regular people who simply go to their jobs, come home, hope to have a nice meal when they get home, life's a little harder. This inflation that's been going on for years is starting to add up. We're somewhere in the 25 to 30% inflation from 2019 to 2024. So unless you make 25 to 30% more money than you did then, you're not keeping up with anything. So I really don't think this is the time to be like, I can do it on my own. Unless you want to struggle and sit at home every weekend. Yeah. Well, who wants to do that? Who really wants to do that? So, to all these nitwits out here who want to sit around and say, childless cat lady, I don't need no man. This is the best ever. Let me see when you're 65 and you got nobody to take care of you. And let's say something happens, you lose money, you don't have enough for a place to stay. Who are you going to turn to? Yikes. Did you think about that? Did you think that far into the future? Don't think you did. So I'll go over a bit more. I've got some videos and everything for Thursday. That'll be one of the topics, because we really haven't had a good dating topic show in quite a while. So I thought I'd bring it back up, especially with this comment that's stirring everybody up. And we'll look at the cousin to the childless cat lady, the crazy white liberal woman. Yeah, that shit's bonkers. So we'll have some video on that. We'll have some more explanation into this. I'm going to wrap this up early. Do we have any comments? We don't have any comments right now, but feel free to leave a comment if you want to comment on the show. I'll be on Thursday night at 8 on the 2 Men in a Room channel. So just search 2 Men in a Room. You can find that channel there. I'm going to try to maybe drop a link in the description for anyone who wants to join over there. And I hope this show came out well. I'm going to watch the playback, see how it came. Please let me know if anything needs to be touched up or anything. So thank you once again for watching. Means a lot to me. So this is the Angriest Man in Orlando, reminding all of you to stay angry.